Yesterday I have told you a simple introduction that what it is, what are the tenses. Today we will study about present tense. And believe me, if you got to know what present tense is, you will definitely learn all the different tenses in a very good way. So again, tenses, the most important and one of my personal favorite topic. We'll talk about present tense. What is present? The time we are in. Present tense or any of the tense contains 4 parts as discussed with all of you yesterday itself. That is simple or indefinite, then comes continuous, then the perfect, and the 4th part is perfect continuous. So simple present tense, which simply tells about the happening of the action. It has in total 16 uses. Tenses is just not the formula. I am again and again regularly in every class telling you it is just not the formula, but itself the uses are very important. Now understand why we need tenses. We need tenses because we want to exactly relate the activity with the time. If I am using a wrong tense, then what I am expressing in relevance to the time will definitely be wrong. So uses are very important. We will discuss about it. First, let's come to a simple point. Formula for this particular structural formula for simple tenses: subject plus verb first form, adding s or es, plus object plus adverb which is optional if it comes into the sentence. Subjects, different subjects are there, and before studying the subjects I must know what are the pronouns. First person, second person and third person. There are 3 persons in any of the language. The first person is the person which starts a conversation. Definitely if I am using English language or any other language, I have to express my things and I have to talk, to converse. If I want to converse, I need someone alive to talk with, some man, some person. Then I cannot talk to the fan or to the walls or to the table. Now the person who starts the conversation, who starts to talk, here I am talking to you. So I and plural form we call it as first person. When I, the first person who start the conversation, talking to the second one, like here I'm talking to you, so you is the second person. And definitely if I am talking here, so I am talking to you about tenses, or I will talk about some of the third person. For example, if I am talking to you, if I ask you that how is your family, so your family is the third person here. Or if I ask you how is the person A or person B, then the person or thing we are talking about, that is he, she, it, they are called the third person. Very clear? These all are the pronouns. I, we, the first person, you, the second one, and he, she, it, and they are the third person. You have studied very well, though you are in 10th standard right now, but still few basic things of grammar are necessary. So, subject, verb first form, we have three forms of the verb, s and es. Now specifically, either I will use just verb first form, or I can use verb first form with either s or es. Here one question arises. Suppose I take a subject he or she or they or you or I. These all are the different persons. He, she and they are the third persons, whereas you the second person and I is the first person. Plus verb, any verb, suppose go, and of course object to, school. Just four simple words: he as pronoun, go as verb, to as preposition, and school as noun or object here in the structure of the tense. So he go to school. I will write it everywhere so that you will understand it in a good way. Here also go to school, and again with the last one, go to school. Now whether I should use verb first form, definitely I will use in each of the sentence. Whether I should use as or es, what is the rule to use as or es, or alone the verb first form will work? Let me tell you here, if particularly my subject is singular as well as third person, these both the conditions should meet here. That is, it must be singular and it must be third person also. Then and only then I will use either s or es. Now where to use s and where to use es? If my verb ends with o, x, ch, ss, sh or zz, here 6 different combination of letters are written. The combination is o, x, ch, ss, sh or zz. If my verb ends with either one of these, then I will use es with them. For example, go is a verb which ends with o, and I will use es here. And for all the remaining verbs, I will use simply s. For example, play, play. Play ends with y. I will use here only s and not es. Quickly, a good recap what I am telling you here. First thing, to put s or es, the very first condition is singular and third person must be there as subject. If it is singular or second person, I will not put s or es. If it is plural or third person, I will not put s or es. It must be singular and third. Both the conditions must match. If one condition will be there, then don't put s or es, simply put into the verb first form. Now verbs end with this es and this place. Let's take an example so you will understand it in better way. Here you will see that my subject here is singular as well as third person also, and here my verbs end with o. Here is the o. Then I will use es here and it becomes goes. Same conditions implies in sentence number 2, it is singular as well as third person. If I write here she go to school, then grammatically this sentence will be wrong, because es must be put with the condition of singular and third person subject. Now here in the third sentence, they is written. They is singular? No, it is plural, but it is third person. One condition is there, but another one is not here, plural. So I will not use either s or either es. I will not use anything here, and simply I will write they go to school. Now next comes you, the second person. This is you is singular as well as plural in grammar, but it is second person. So I am not going to use s or es in these two sentences. Same goes with the I is first person and singular, first person and singular. I am not going to use it either s or es. Now let's change the verb form here from go to. Take any of the verb. Watch. He watch television. He watch television. Now here I see subject third person, condition applies, then I will see ch. As a student, how I write the sentences here? That is, first I will check subject. If the subject is third person and singular, then I will see what my verb is. My verbs end here with ch. Is ch here? Yes, ch is here. So s or es, of course, es. So it becomes watches. He watches television. Now if I change the verb from watch to someone else, again with the singular and third person, here my subject is she is singular as well as third person. So let's take a verb now this time which does not end with either o, h, ch, ss, sh or zz. Let's take any of the verb. Let's take the verb cook, C-O-O-K. Again I check my subject, singular, yes, third person, yes. Verb is cook, K. Is K here? No, K is not here. So S or ES, she cooks food. I will use here S and not ES. I hope that this concept is very clear. Again, for your help, I am repeating it. There is very simple formula. First thing is subject must be singular third person. Why I am telling you again and again, why I am again and again emphasizing to understand it with the few of the examples, because in English grammar when we particularly study this we feel it very easy, but this is the most common mistake made by the students while writing or speaking English grammar. So listen carefully once again. Subject must be singular as well as third person, both. If it is plural or third person, no. If it is singular or first or second person, no. A big no. Both conditions apply. First, as a student, I will check here my subject. He. Yes, singular third person. Then I will go to my verb. Let's write 3 more verbs here. Let's take a verb. Eat, walk, and play. So what I find here, as a student, what I will do, I check my subject. Let's start with this sentence. They. They is plural and third person. No. Applicable, not applicable. No S or ES, simply they eat food. Next to you, second person, plural or singular, it can be anyone. No, I will not choose anything. But here in 2 of the verbs, I will check what is the ending of the verb, and as per the ending of the verb, I choose whether ES or S. Let me rub it all for you, and during rubbing it again, simple things. Verb first form plus S or ES plus object is the structural formula for tenses. Singular plus third person, S or ES, else, not, nothing. Simply put the verb in a first form. Now, you must have studied the kinds of sentences in 6th or 7th standard. Now, kinds of sentences, we have different kind of sentences, and definitely in tenses, definitely we need structural formulas. So let's talk today about the structural formulas uses we will come upon soon. First, you need to understand the formulas quickly, because this is 10th class and the syllabus is huge. I'm going to give you it, give a glimpse of it quickly. First of all, first sentence is simple sentence. In English we call it as also indefinite. Simple sentence, subject plus verb first form, S or ES plus object plus a verb which is optional in any of the sentence. Next sentence comes, which we call it as negative sentence. So what is the formula of negative sentence? It's subject plus helping verb, that is do or does, plus not, plus verb first form plus object plus adverb. Now particularly interrogative sentences. In interrogative sentences which are used to ask questions, interrogative sentences are the sentences which starts with helping verb, that is do or does in the beginning of it, plus subject plus word first form plus object plus adverb. Then comes negative interrogative sentences, which is do or does plus subject plus not plus verb first form plus object plus adverb. Then comes WH word. I will explain you, don't worry, but first for your help to, if you want to write it down in your notebook, please note it down. Interrogative sentences with the WH word, which is WH word plus helping verb, that is do or does plus subject plus verb first form plus object plus adverb. Then WH word, interrogative negative sentence, which is WH word plus do or does plus subject plus not plus verb first form plus object plus adverb. So you see, every part of the sentence has these 6 kinds of sentences: simple or indefinite, negative, interrogative, negative interrogative sentences, WH word interrogative sentence, and WH word interrogative negative sentence. Formulas are very simple. Subject plus verb first form S or ES plus object. I have already described it to you. Now here you see helping verb. Helping verb. What are helping verbs? Helping verbs are the verbs which help you to identify what tense it is and at what time activity is going on. It tells us the time. It helps us to identify the time. That is the reason we call it as helping verb. Do or does. Now where to use do and where do you does, I will explain. Do we use with I plus you plus plural, whereas for singular subjects we use does. How? We will explain it later. Plus not, plus verb first form, plus object, plus adverb. He goes to school. He is singular. I will choose does and not do. He does not go to school. Or if the subject is you, then you. With you I will use do and not does. You do not go to school. Same interrogative. If I choose the subject he here, I will choose does because he is singular. Whereas if I choose the subject either I, you or plural subject, suppose I take the subject I here, then do I go to school. Next, negative interrogative, does he not go to school? Of course, with a question mark, interrogative sentences, which is the structure of it. Now WH interrogative, WH family contains interrogative questions which is what, why, when, where, how, who, whom. 7 members are there. What, why, when, where, how, who, whom. Now, why does he not go to school? Or why does he not go to school? One by one, let's study it. Simple indefinite, already described it to you. Now I will describe you how to use do and how to use does. Well, I have already described it to you, but because this is online class, you are not front of me, my dear kids, let me again explain it to you. Subject plus helping verb do does. Do for subject I, you and plural. Do plus es becomes does with the singular subjects. Now the words which ends with O, X, CH, SS, SH, ZZ, I put ES, it ends with O. If I put ES at the end of O, it becomes does. Same condition, if the subject is singular plus third person, as we have studied in indefinite in simple formula, if the subject is singular plus third person, then I will use does with it. Else, if the subject is I, which is not third person, first person, you again, which is not third person, or plural, which is not singular, I will use do. You can write it up if you want to. Next thing, what comes? Let's take up an example of it, negative sentence with I as first person. At the place of subject, I write subject. Helping verb, I will choose do or does. With I will use do, I do. Then in the formula it comes not, I do, not. Then verb, let's choose a verb, go, which again ends with O. I do not go, and object to school. Now very carefully listen it. When here the verbs end with O, I put ES in the simple present tense. But here I have not put any of the ES. Reason being, here do is here. Let's choose he does not go to school. So in both these sentences, if you look carefully, with I choose do, with singular and third person he, I choose does. Here do, does, go and go, but I have not put es in the verb because in the formula it's verb first form of negative, but in the formula of simple tense it's verb first form plus s or es. Why? I already put a es in my sentence in the negative one. So I will not put es in the main verb because I have already put es in my helping verb. Repeating this sentence again so that you must understand it. I have not put es in my main verb here because I have already put es in my helping verb here. I hope this part is clear to you. If you have any queries, you can send me your feedback and I will again make it clear for you in my next class. Then comes interrogative sentences for which the formula is helping verb, that is again do or does plus subject plus verb first form plus object plus adverb with a question mark. This is the formula of interrogative sentences. What are interrogative sentences? Interrogative sentences are the sentences which are used to ask questions. So again, choose a subject. Here is I and here she and here they. Plus verb first form go, go plus object to school, and in both these I will put to school. Now do or does with I, of course I will use do I go to school, with she does, and with they again do, because it is third person but not singular, third person singular, first person, of course with a question mark. So this is the structure of interrogative sentences. Now interrogative negative, one last one is there. In interrogative negative, you don't have to change anything. It is the simplest form of it. What are interrogative negative? I just put not here. I have already given you the writing form of the formulas in this class only. So, does he not go to school? Or if you want to use contracted form of it, then pick this not and put it here. Does become doesn't he go to school, whereas do becomes don't you go to school. So it is very simple. You can choose any of the form. If you don't want to use doesn't or don't, you can put not after the subject. If you want the contracted form of do and does at doesn't and don't, then pick this not from here and put it here in does. Does become doesn't, do becomes don't. That is simply the introduction of the structural formulas of tenses. Now what else I am going to tell you is that tomorrow I am going to tell you the uses of it, which are very much necessary. This is your 10th standard students, and it is very much necessary for you to work hard on the tenses. It looks very simple. Very simpler form. Tenses are just not the formulas. Tenses are the backbone of English subject as well as language. If you do not know the formula, if you do not have it in your mind, you will never be able to write the uses of it. So kindly learn these formulas today. Tomorrow again I will come up with something more than it. Until tomorrow, stay blessed, stay happy.